Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Rush Hour is just getting started on Beaver County Radio. It's time for Driving in the Fastlane with Frank Sparks. It's the show that talks about what's happening in the news, locally, regionally, and nationally. There will be guests, and Noah Haswell will have the news of the top and bottom of each hour. And now, here is the host of the show, Frank Sparks.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Driving in the Fast Lane here on a Tuesday morning. It is the last day of September. We've got a lot to go over today. First off, we're going to start out the day talking about Touch a Plane that's going on I guess that's this weekend at the Aviation, at the Air Heritage Aviation Museum out in Chippewa Township, and it's with CCBC's Touch a Plane. So we're going to talk about that in hour one. Hour two, we got Mark Miner coming in, and he's from the Beaver County Foundation. We're going to talk about $87,000 in scholarships that they've given out to different high school students throughout the area over this last year or so. So we're going to talk about that in the foundation, let you learn a little bit about that. We're also going to talk about the I guess it's the elephant that's in the room, and that is the fact that the Republicans and Democrats can't get along, and as of midnight tonight, we're not going to have our government operating, which means that, a lot of government offices, they won't be getting paid. Soldiers won't be getting paid, and a lot of people aren't going to be getting paid, and a lot of things are going to be affected by this. So we'll talk about that as well, and then whatever else is on your mind. But first off, let's get our day started off, and we're going to say good morning to our friend Tom Gargaro. I just heard you call Scott a little bit ago.
Yeah, good morning, Frank.
What's up?
I figured I wanted to talk to him today and you.
Okay.
So, I wasn't slotted into his show at all, but he actually had that gentleman on just very quickly, and I apologize, I don't remember his name, who's putting this benefit concert on Saturday night down in Rochester for the people affected from the East Palestine train derailment, which, I live like 2.5 miles from downtown there. The problems still exist with the people and their health and their houses and stuff. So I had to call Scott and thank him and thank you guys for getting that guy on about the concert this weekend. So,
Gotcha.
So we're here today, really excited. Again,
I'm
always
just going to sit here and let you. All right?
Just let Tom run the show.
He's
It'll be
the
fine.
pro of it. I mean,
Yeah.
let's go. I'm just going to hang out here and run the board.
Well, you just relax.
Take it away,
Take-
bro.
We got,
the
we
hour
got
off.
this.
Right.
You
Take it
take
away.
care of the technical end, though, Frank.
All right.
So first of all, I want to thank Beaver County Radio for always being so involved with the community and allowing people like us to come in and talk about local events. I'm going to let these two introduce themselves. We're here to talk about the Touch a Plane event and an aviation school open house this weekend. So I'll let you, if you would introduce yourselves and say what your titles are there, and then we'll start talking.
Lori, you want to go first?
Sure. I'm Lori Shandor. I'm the Associate Director of Advancement at the CCBC Foundation. So we are part of CCBC. We're integrated into the whole college, but we also are the arm of the college that can collect donations to help the students, provide scholarships, and put on some events like Touch a Plane.
Excellent.
And I'm Ethan Serinelli. I'm the Assistant Ground Instructor for the Aviation program. So I'm also a professor up there, and I'm helping to run our open house this weekend, obviously in conjunction with the Air Heritage Touch a Plane.
So does that mean I have to call you Professor from now on, Ethan?
I usually sound my title Professor, believe it or not. So usually I dumb it down a little
look,
bit.
and my title over at Air Heritage Aviation Museum. You can call me Mr. President if you want.
Oh, here
if
we
you
go.
want me to call you Professor.
I left the potatoes at home today.
So why don't we talk a little bit about each event if we could?
Sure.
Am I
No,
Frank? Okay.
take it away.
So
I'm just
Lori,
gonna
why don't
hang
you tell
out.
us about
good.
the Touch a Plane event. Tell us what we
Yeah.
can expect this weekend, when it is, where it is, what we can expect to experience there.
Absolutely. It is this Saturday, October 4th. It runs from 10 to 1 p.m. So right there, kind of in that late morning hours. You can stop on over at the Air Heritage Aviation Museum. We'll have many planes out there, parts of the Aviation Museum's collection of planes, as well as some planes that are owned by folks that store over there that'll be attending the showcase. So lots of planes. Bring out the family. This is an all ages event, whether you've got a 4-year-old who's in love with airplanes and they want to be able to get close and see them up close. Or if you've got an 80-year-old or 90-year-old who also has a love for aviation, it's open to everybody. All are welcome. It's a completely free event. So I hope people come over and join us.
Well, I love the name. When I got involved at Air Heritage Aviation Museum maybe 5 years ago, I started dealing with folks from the Community College of Beaver County, and one of the very first things I got involved in was the Touch a Plane. And what's really cool is, and I'm out at the museum a lot, and so people come in and they want to touch an airplane, whether it's one of our old warbirds or a static or anything like that. See, you folks at the aviation school, you're around, you can touch airplanes all day long,
All the time.
Professor,
Exactly.
right?
That's right.
But it's really a neat experience. And honestly, every time I walk into our museum, I actually touch an airplane because other than people in a profession like you, right? If you go to Greater Pittsburgh International Airport, the only way you can touch a plane is if you're boarding and you slap the side, which I always do just to check the structural integrity of the plane. Frank can relate. Frank's not a big flyer. If I remember correctly, he's flown once in his life and only because he had to.
Yep.
I am, working to try to get him and his group of friends and team up on one of our warbirds. But I do love the idea of it. And, my experience now, maybe the 5th year I've been involved with Touch a Plane, is it's a really family-friendly event, right? There's not just the airplanes there to touch and see, and all the artifacts in our museum. But I guess, Lori, what I would ask is, what else is the Community College of Beaver County going to have there? Are you going to have any tables set up? Or?
Absolutely. We'll have some basic information about enrollment and classes available at CCBC. We obviously have classes from junior year in high school all the way up through lifelong learners. So there's opportunities for everybody if they want to see what's available at CCBC to continue their lifelong learning experience. But we will also have the flight simulators will be on hand. So kids and adults, anybody who wants to, can try their hand at a flight simulator, which is always a really popular thing when we have those out at events. So we'll have those. We'll have some coloring pages out there, and we'll be giving away some goodies as well.
I love it. The flight simulators, and I'm from a generation, I know you're a little younger than me, Frank, but I didn't really grow up with video games at all.
No,
right?
I didn't either.
I mean,
Yeah.
we played out in the woods or whatever
We
we
had
did.
that one that had the pong that went back and forth, and that was
Yeah,
about
that
it.
was, like,
There was a
amazing,
ball,
right?
The ball that went back and forth,
They're
and we
probably
thought
too young to remember that, but we remember it. But
Yeah.
here's what always amazes me. And my kids, they're in their 30s, and they were all into video games and all that stuff. But the simulators are always huge. And I think one of the reasons why is because you staff people there who kind of know how to fly planes, okay? And so instead of people sitting at home, and I've never played an aviation video game really in my life, but I watch those people, right? And what happens is there's people there who say, I don't know the technicalities, Ethan, but pull back a little bit, add some trim or whatever it is, and so they're actually getting to experience those simulators in almost like a real life teaching environment. So I think they're always a big hit. There's always a big lineup of people, and again, there's young kids and people older than me, which is pretty old, who want to do the simulator. So
yes, the simulators are really cool.
Yeah,
it's really fun. It gives you a really good experience. And again, Ethan is the expert in this area, but for me, it gave me a really cool experience of what some of the simulators are like that the students at CCBC are working on.
So is there any cost involved to to coming to this on
Nope.
Saturday?
It is a completely free event. There will be a food truck there, so that'll have a cost to it. But everything else available that day, as far as Touch a Plane, is completely free of charge.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Ethan.
Oh, you're fine. No, there's one thing, and this is only optional if you want to. We are going to have aircraft, like Lori said. We are going to have aircraft from our provider flight schools. They're going to fly in from Washington County, from Latrobe. So this is kind of a regional event as far as that goes. So if you're from, say, Washington County or Latrobe, and you're thinking about joining our program, we are going to be doing, because the weather's supposed to be real nice this weekend.
Very
We are
nice.
planning on doing, or the flight schools are planning on doing discovery flights. So that is something you can set up that day. You can talk to the flight school that's there, and you can go up, and if you're thinking, hey, I want to fly out of Latrobe, you can go ahead, book a plane for that day, and they'll go and take you up. That's definitely a good opportunity to see, if this is for you, or if you just want to go up and kind of bebop around and see the Pittsburgh area.
Ethan, excuse me. What would you describe? What is a discovery flight, please?
So generally speaking, what they'll do is they'll take you in.
Who's
They'll walk-
they?
The flight instructor. So
Thank you.
So there's a flight instructor. They'll take you in, and they'll walk you around the airplane, kind of tell you a little bit about how the airplane flies, as far as the yoke.
Do you do almost like a pre-flight inspection? Is that what it would be called? Or
It varies. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they want to get you in the airplane, but usually they want to kind of show you at least a minimum of kind of how the airplane works and walk you around, and then they'll take you up. Now, discovery flights vary between 30 minutes and maybe an hour. Generally, they'll take you up. They'll show you like level flight, steep turns, something like that, and then usually they have you come back and land. If you want to kind of walk or like fly around the area, they'll do that. If you're a little more adventurous, they might show you how to do a stall, something.
You don't
like that.
do like any loop-the-loops or anything like that, right?
No, that's
Because
nothing
if
crazy.
so, Frank might want to go up.
No. Usually it's
my
pretty
lunch is
much
going.
Usually the first flight's usually more like a basic routine flight, just to kind of get you introduce the airplane and kind of how everything works. And most people really enjoy them, unless some people get in there like, this is not for me. But I'd say 90% of the time, if you go in one of the small aircraft, you're pretty much going to commit to learning how to fly.
So people that are interested in that aspect when they attend of doing a discovery flight, is there a time frame when they're going to be operating?
It depends on the weather. This time of year, now our open house runs concurrently with theirs. Now ours runs slightly longer. It goes from 9 in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It depends on the weather for the morning. We've had mornings, because now we're in the fall, where you have fog in the morning, especially us being right next to the river. I'd say realistically, they'll probably, if they can offer flights by 9, they'll do it. But most likely, I'd say 10 for sure. And
So
they'll run-
fog prevents you from flying in those airplanes?
Well, we can go and fly, but for what we want to do for discovery flight, usually you need like visual conditions. So usually if the morning fog burns off, but it's supposed to be nice. So hopefully we're able to have a nice sunny day and we can get everybody up early.
And is Community College of Beaver County putting on these discovery flights, or are you doing it in conjunction with some of the flight schools out at the airport?
So our flight schools, for example, if they come in like Washington or the 2 flight schools we have on the field, what they'll do is, because the way our program's set up is, we at the college provide the ground school, and then the flight providers, it's an extension of our college. They have the contract, so they're contracted out to do our flight providing, and they've been vetted by the FAA. The FAA mechanics have looked over their fleet. They've looked over their operations, inspectors, and they're generally they are checked by the FAA to make sure they're up to snuff. So everybody is a very good provider. But they work in conjunction with us. We do the ground school, and then you pick your flight school of choice. So again, we have students that are out in Latrobe, for example. We have a partnership with St. Vincent College. In fact, I teach the morning pilot class, and I have several students from out there right now. And what happens is the students will be remote access via online, kind of like how your viewers watch this radio station. Mm-hmm. So they watch me teach, and they're able to actually interact with me. So it's almost like, if you remember the Brady Bunch, and by the way, I do remember Atari. I had an Atari as a kid. So I do
We're
remember.
talking before Atari, though.
That is before Atari.
Remember the Pong?
Pong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pong.
Pong.
Pong. Yeah.
I don't know if I played that, but I did play Atari.
I played Pong.
But if we go back
love
to
it.
if we think of how the Brady Bunch looks like in the beginning of the show and how it has all the faces, right? That's what we see on the one screen as an instructor. So I'll see these students, and they're around at, say, St. Vincent College, for example, and if somebody has a question, the whole class can hear them, we can hear them. So they're able to take our class remotely out there during the class period, and then because they're in close proximity to, say, Latrobe, they can go over, fly, and it makes us, expands our range. But we have, we have flight schools all the way from the Pittsburgh area up to Erie, out to Philadelphia, and then we start in North Carolina and work our way through South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. So we have a very expansive network.
I want to see Tom actually. See, that's what I want to see. It's one of these smaller planes, like a small Cessna or something smaller. I want to see Tom get his way in and out. That's kind of what I'm after here.
Yeah, good luck.
we do. I mean, some of the guys I've flown with, they're tall like him, and I mean, it's tight, but they get in. So.
I know at Fly and Drive we saw there was like, I don't know what type of plane it's called, but it's like a smaller plane that just had like a dome over it and 2 seats. And I'm thinking, neither Tom nor I would be able to get in that plane. We'd be hitting our head off the dome the whole time.
Yeah, those small planes really are tough for people our size, but the college does a great job with that. I want to get more into the aviation school in a little bit, but tell us, what can people who come to the event over at the aviation school on Saturday, what can they expect to experience over there?
So we have a number of student volunteers. So some of the students are going to be actually some of our high school academy students. And as far as the academy program, we are able to get students actually as early as their junior year in high school into our classes. In fact, some of these students will be taking private pilot in the spring. They take an assortment of courses, but they can get around 28 credits prior. So we have some kids that are just kind of in the program. They're going to help out. We have some students that are in the middle of the program, and we have students that are kind of finished. So they're going to be kind of peppered around. In fact, you mentioned the simulators earlier. We'll have some of our students over there manning. They're more of the experienced students, so they're kind of getting ready for the instruction phase. We have a bigger full motion simulator. Now, if that's something you want to do, I'd recommend getting to the open house as early as possible, because we do have a sign-in sheet for that, because we only have a limited amount of slots. But that's in one of our larger red birds.
Is that something like you'd see on TV almost for like commercial pilots? You sit in this thing and
it's similar. It's not exactly like what I flew with the airlines and the level Ds, but it is a regular trainer. It's actually, the size of it is probably about the size of this room. You have 2 people that are allowed to sit in there, and it's full motion. Now, if you are motion sickness and just say you want to go fly, we can shut off the motion. So if you just want to kind of experience the controls, but figure we're going to have students that are working that. We're going to have another 2 sims. We have a variety of providers that will be coming there. Our flight school providers from the Pittsburgh region will be there, so you can actually meet and greet. So if you're thinking about it, you can talk with some of the owners, some of the flight instructors, book yourself a discovery flight. We also are going to have our college providers ranging from Slippery Rock, St. Vincent, Geneva College, La Roche. Trying to think, who else we have? Robert Morris is in there now. So we have 7 providers in there. SIU is going to be there. So we have multiple colleges that will be there that day you can meet and talk to about our program, because you go through our program, and then if you want to, you can either go for a finishing degree, transfer the whole thing, and get a 4-year degree out of it too.
So is that part of what I heard you mention Southern Illinois University, or is
Correct.
that what it's called?
Yes, Southern.
So CCBC actually provides everything you need to learn to be a pilot and get an associate's degree. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then you have Southern Illinois and maybe other places that allow you to continue on that career path and get a bachelor's degree. Is that correct?
Correct. And that's a good thing for everybody, because the airlines like to see that. If you have a 4-year education, obviously they want a 2-year if you can. And plus with us, it allows our students to go from, say, like the 1,500-hour rule, where you have to go to the airlines, reduces it down to 1,250 hours to actually 1,000 hours. So it depends on what track you go. But we're going to have the college educators are going to be there. We're also going to have multiple airlines will be there as well. American Airlines will be there, United Airlines, Southwest, JetBlue, FedEx, Republic, which is who I flew for. So we're going to have a plethora of airline pilots there. Now, a lot of these pilots actually went through our program, so it's kind of nice to go in and talk to them, because what happens is you can ask them, how was it as a student going up to a flight instructor, going to a regional pilot, to go to a major. So we'll have them. We also are going to have the military there as well. The Active Air Force will be there for their officer program. We have the Pittsburgh Air National Guard will be there, along with the reserve out of Pittsburgh. And a lot of those pilots, like I've flown with, in fact, one of the ones, it's one of my close friends, he's going to be there that day. He went through the program. He went to a regional. He's actually at United now, and he's flies for the Guard as well.
So people coming there can really learn everything they need to learn
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
the Community College of Beaver County and their aviation program, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is a very wide open house.
And that's all free.
It's
Is
all
that
free
correct?
except for the Discovery flights.
Yeah,
we're
sure.
also going to have corporate as well. Skyward down out of Washington County is going to be up here. AMG is out of Pittsburgh. So if you're thinking more corporate flying, you
Wow.
can talk to those pilots as well.
I
But
think we
it's
just
a-
got to teach you the brakes. And when I'm on vacation next time, you're hired. That's all I can say. I mean, you just had your on-the-job interview.
Oh,
You're
my
hired.
goodness. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
hired. Next time I'm
You
off.
got to check with somebody else on that. You know that.
I honestly usually do talk. Lori's been here before, and she'll tell you I do. But, hey, I love it.
I feel kind of.
No,
you know,
no, but
I
listen,
don't mean to be
Yeah.
stepping on your toes.
You're not
Of course,
stepping on-
you're the
trust me.
You're doing
professional.
great.
you're not stepping on anything. You
Now
just
you're
keep on
making me
going.
get
So,
embarrassed.
I'm telling you,
look,
next
he
time I'm
loves
off,
it.
I'm calling you. I'm going to say, Tom, I think you'd be perfect for this. So,
Thank you very
All
much,
right, we're going
Frank.
to take a short break, and then we come back. We'll have news with Noah, and then we'll have more about Touch a Plane at the CCBC. At the Aviation
In these
Museum.
unprecedented
I hit the button
times,
anyways, but we'll be
staying
back.
informed with accurate information is a necessity, especially in an emergency. Believe it or not, the power to stay informed and be aware on important news alerts in your area is right at your fingertips. Beaver County Emergency Services urges you to sign up for instant mobile message alerts today. It's quick and easy, and once you enroll, Amber Alerts, weather emergencies, and many valuable safety, warning, and important news bulletin updates will arrive as text messages in your cell phone. Sign up now by visiting beavercountypa.gov. It's free, and it could be a lifesaver for you or somebody else in trouble. Put your fingertips to work and turn your phone into an instant notification alert device. Beaver County Emergency Services, along with other partner organizations, is pleased to make instant notifications available to you. So sign up today.
Have you ever found something interesting that makes you go, oh? Then tune in every other Tuesday from 5 to 5:30 p.m. on Beaver County Radio for the Oh Show with Orlana Dawkins Drury. Orlana relates her views about informing, inspiring, and entertaining headlines that makes the world go round in interviews with local influencers that make you go, oh. The episode will be on Beaver County Radio Facebook and YouTube pages, so make sure to join the Oh Show with Orlana Dawkins Drury every other Tuesday from 5 to 5:30 right here on 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP.
The battle of the Colic teammates up and down the hill into turn number 6 as Sam Mayer's still out front. He's going to have to serve a penalty. This is the real battle for the lead.
Dogging the back bumper of SVG, AJ Allmendinger chases him across the start-finish line and back to turn number 1.
Love, this is the corner. They gather it up. Now to turn 7. Will Hill pay back the favor?
It's the Drive for the Cure 250 presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. Saturday, October 4th at 4:30.
If you own a company or a small business, you might have considered advertising on radio. It's smart because radio is still the most far-reaching media outlet today. WBVP and WMBA can get you results. Get more information at beavercountyradio.com.
Make Jackson's Restaurant and Bar in Center Township your fun spot and dining destination this fall. Open daily, Jackson's entrees include grilled salmon, sirloin, honey glazed chicken, and pork wrapped tenderloin. The brunch buffet each Sunday from 10 to 2 has hot breakfast items, omelets, pastries, and chef-inspired entrees. Sundays also offer a build-your-own Bloody Mary bar and $5 mimosas. Thursday nights bring live music to Jackson's, located adjacent to Hilton Garden Inn near the Beaver Valley Mall. For a full menu and schedule, visit jacksonsbeavervalley.com.
Looking for something that's more than just a job? Then this good news is for you. PA Connected Communities helps people with intellectual disabilities and autism by using fun activities like cooking, pottery, and volunteerism to learn valuable skills. PACC is hiring for full-time and part-time in Beaver, Butler, and surrounding areas. When was the last time you got paid to go bowling, the movies, swimming, or doing a community service project? If you're looking for a great job where you can help others improve their life skills, gain independence, and participate in community activities, all while having fun and get paid nicely too, then visit PACC.org.
Elliott elated with elusive win. I'm Susie Armstrong. The story next on NASCAR Today.
This is what being a NASCAR fan is all about.
Win at Talladega.
Singular history and tradition.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
And triple header playoffs action to ratchet up the stakes.
We gotta go.
Throw in a can't miss concert, and you've got more than a race. You've got Talladega. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Talladega, October 17th through the 19th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Kyle Petty, and I want to tell you about a place that's near and dear to my heart, Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by getting involved today. Whether you know a child who could benefit, want to volunteer, or join our team, you can be a part of something truly special. Learn more by visiting victoryjunction.org.
Chase Elliott snatched the victory at Kansas Speedway Sunday to secure a spot in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs round of 8. The Hendrick Motorsports pilot had logged some lackluster finishes of late, but pulled out the surprise victory on the final restart as the leaders battled high and Elliott dipped low.
I've been very transparent about, the areas that I think we need to be better in. We need to be better, no doubt. I thought this weekend was a really solid weekend, a really competitive weekend for us, from how we unloaded Saturday to the opportunities that we continued to present ourselves today. And that is why we ended up having a chance to win. Ultimately, we got our turn. We bought ourselves 3 more weeks. We'll fight like hell till they tell us to not.
I'm Susie Armstrong. This is NASCAR Today on the Motor Racing Network.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning. On this Tuesday, September 30th of 2025, we will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. Pennsylvania State Police Troop D Beaver Station and the Beaver County detectives are currently searching for a wanted man who has a homicide warrant for allegedly killing 28-year-old Sajavante Gilliam in Aliquippa on June 1st, 2016. Pennsylvania State Police are offering a reward of $5,000 for anyone who can help find 39-year-old Brandon Eugene Rivas. According to the Beaver County District Attorney's Office, a confidential source reported that Rivas admitted to killing Gilliam and stealing $1,500 from him. Gilliam was found dead on McMinn Street in Aliquippa when he was killed on June 1st, 2016, and was shot in the back of the head. Rivas's picture can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com, which is where you can find a website to submit information. If you have any information about this case, call 1-800-472-8477. Lincoln Park High School senior point guard Josh Pratt finished his recruitment for college basketball on Saturday, which is when he committed to Columbia University of New York City, New York. Pratt becomes the first player from Lincoln Park High School to commit to an Ivy League university basketball program. Pratt is the 7th best prospect in the state of Pennsylvania and the top-ranked point guard prospect in the state of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver report yesterday that 65-year-old Anthony Levins of Coppell hit another vehicle with his vehicle in Coppell Borough on Sunday. Levins hit the front bumper of another vehicle that was parked on 4th Avenue north of Arthur Street, which caused the bumper to come off completely. Levins was not charged by police. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver also report today that 61-year-old Timothy Block of Clinton, Pennsylvania, was the victim of a theft in Hanover Township on August 26, 2025. According to police, an unknown actor or actors attempted to open a fraudulent Wells Fargo account on 330 Murdochsville Road. That is all the information that we have at this time. Gavin McKenna, a top prospect for the 2026 NHL Draft, made headlines in July by leaving the Western Hockey League to play for Penn State. Yesterday, McKenna shared that Penn State's success in reaching the Frozen Four last season influenced his decision. The 17-year-old was a standout in the WHL, finishing second with 129 points last season. Now he aims to boost Penn State's offense. The NCAA recently lifted its ban on CHL players, allowing McKenna and others to join college programs. McKenna is eager to develop physically and help Penn State win. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are keeping Don Kelly as manager. The club announced yesterday that it had extended Kelly's contract after he oversaw improvements in the second half of the season. Pittsburgh was 12-26 when it fired Derek Shelton on May 8th. Kelly was promoted to interim manager and went 59-65, including 32-33 after the All-Star break. The Pirates believe they can contend for a playoff spot next season with a starting rotation led by Paul Skeens. The team annually has one of the lowest payrolls in baseball.
The Beaver County forecast.
A fantastic weather day is in the forecast for us with sunny skies. Expect to see highs near 82 and overnight lows around 51. Sunshine tomorrow will reach highs near 73 and lows in the mid-40s. And mostly sunny on Thursday. Look for highs in the mid-70s and lows around 47. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Tuesday, September 30th of 2025 at 39 minutes after 10, we've got a temperature of 70 degrees currently in Beaver County. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Hot coffee in the morning and Frank Sparks. Now you're in the Fast Lane. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and streaming live on beavercountyradio.com.
All right, we're back here on Driving in the Fast Lane. It is hour number one. Coming up at 11 o'clock, Mark Miner will be in. And he's from the Beaver County Foundation. We're going to be talking about some scholarships that we're giving out, $87,000 in all. To find out exactly what is the Beaver County Foundation. We'll talk about that and much more. But here in hour number one, we are visiting with our good friend Tom Gargaro from the Aviation Museum out at Air Heritage. I don't know why it's not hitting me today. Air Heritage Aviation Museum. Out in Chippewa Township is this weekend. CCBC and Air Heritage are partnering up, and they are going to have a touch-a-plane event going on out at the Beaver County Airport this weekend. So, see, that's why I'm letting you talk, because I'm just,
I'm wondering if Gabby had you up early this morning or something,
I
Frank.
do have a sick child at home, yes.
I could
and she
tell.
kept me up all night, yes.
I could tell. Well, relax a little bit.
Well, I was going to say, my co-host for today, Tom Gargaro, is now going to take over and continue.
That's funny.
I do want to ask a question, though. So what about I do have a 7-year-old. So what are the good things that will be for my 7-year-old if I bring her out this Saturday?
Well, I think that's
so the touch-a-plane will be, a big thing for someone in that age range. Being able to get up close and personal with the planes, like Tom was saying, actually physically put your hands on a plane, I think is impressive for many children that have never had the opportunity to actually touch a real plane. And then getting to walk through some of the warplanes and things like that Air Heritage have as part of their collection. It's pretty amazing, being able to walk through those and see how big these planes are and all of that. But then, as far as a 7-year-old, the flight simulators, I mean, they love them. We recently had this over the last summer. We had our Bring Your Child to Work Day at CCBC, and this is not like a small thing. They have a packed agenda all day, and they get to experience a lot of things on CCBC's campus. And of course, the flight simulators were one of the most popular. And we had everything from littles, that 2-3-year-old, up to the teenagers, 12, 13 in there.
Mine don't want to fly the plane. Tom will tell you. She's whenever it's
absolutely
like that's the only other day of the year I usually have a co-host besides today. Is usually then is she's 7 and she comes in and takes over for the day. And
I love it.
People call and they just
she's like a natural. Doing what her dad does, she really is. But so, I mean, a 7-year-old you could certainly give a 7-year-old guidance on the simulator, and they could.
Absolutely.
Operate the simulator and stuff like that. Yeah, so
absolutely. We'll have some giveaways for the kids, some different things going on, some smaller activities too. We have a game where you try and fly airplanes through targets and some things like that going on as well. So it'll be a fun day.
I have one.
Yeah,
I haven't put it together yet. It was in my birthday card.
Oh, Oh, fun!
Yeah,
You'll have to put it together before Saturday. You can try and
I might do that.
Try and get it
I've
through
got
the
some
targets.
people out there can give me some excellent advice on like aerodynamics and stuff like
that is
that.
true.
I
So
might be talking to you.
So
even.
some of the questions that I know Tom won't think of to ask, but I will. What about parking?
Yes, so we will have volunteers and some folks from Air Heritage out front, parking cars and everything, making sure that you can get in, you can park, and that you're not going to get blocked in and be able to get out when you're ready. So that will be taken care of. It'll be right there, right between Air Heritage and the School of Aviation.
In the field there.
Yep.
Yeah, and we've had several big events, which you or Beaver County Radio has been at, really, really big events. So we're pretty comfortable being able to comfortably handle the parking situation there. We'll have plenty of disabled parking spaces, basically the whole paved lot.
Now you're getting on my thinking because that's where I was going next.
There you go, see?
Nice.
So, yeah, that whole paved front lot in front of our museum will all be for disabled folks. So really easy access. Over at the museum, everything is pretty much handicapped accessible.
Yes.
Other than maybe getting into our C-47 where you got to climb the steps. But even the C-123 will have the ramp down, and the whole museum itself, laboratories and everything is all handicapped accessible. So if I could, Lori, I wanted to ask you, Frank was mentioning about the guests coming on at 11, about scholarships and stuff like that. How does that work in your world, Lori, with scholarships or grants and stuff like that?
Sure. So that's a big part of what the foundation does. So we have a lot of endowed scholarships that we give out to CCBC students, whether some are based on they want it going to a certain major, others are more open to any student who has a need. But then we're also always actively working on more funding, more grants and things to be able to issue more scholarships. So a really exciting one that we recently got we didn't even know this foundation existed, to be completely honest. They reached out to us. So we received a $75,000 grant from All Within My Hands Foundation. And this is the foundation that was founded by the band Metallica.
Awesome.
No kidding.
Yes. So the exciting part is, all 60 of our air traffic control students currently enrolled will be receiving scholarships. They'll get $1,000 scholarships, $500 for this current semester, $500 for next semester, and they become a part of the Metallica Scholars Initiative. So this is a group of about 70 schools. This is the 7th year that they've done this. So we're in the 7th cohort for the Metallica Scholars Initiative. And so they'll be getting T-shirts. It's national exposure for CCBC's School of Aviation, and it's really, really exciting. They really push on the schools that they work with. They have partner schools in every state of the United States as well as in Guam, and so they really have been kind of pushing these high demand, labor intensive type programs. They really started looking at what are the services that the band are using all the time. So one of the big things they saw was truck drivers. They need a fleet of trucks to drive their equipment everywhere that they go. And so they set up programs to help students who are training to be truck drivers. All of the trades. They have schools that they work with all over the country in the various trades. And so they were looking to add a program this year, and watching the news, you hear so much about the shortage of air traffic controllers. And they said, would that be something we could do? And we just lucked out that one of the people they were talking to was familiar with CCBC. They'd been here, they saw our program, and they said, you know what, I actually know what's probably the best air traffic controller program in the country. And she came to us and said, fill this grant out and let's see what we can do. So, it was great.
Cool.
It's super exciting. We're excited for the kids. We're excited for the program.
That awesome. Is really, really cool, isn't it? That a band as famous as Metallica really would I think the perception of rock and roll groups is they're just out touring, partying, doing whatever they're doing. That's really, really neat. That's a really cool story, I think, to hear. I'm glad CCBC is the beneficiary of that.
Absolutely.
But that's really neat, too, because it just gives you a taste of, I can only imagine the wide variety of organizations or groups that that you have touch points with.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
On your end of the business.
The closest school is the Community College of Allegheny County, is also a Metallica Scholars School. And then we have, other schools all over the country now that we have a network with. And once a year, all the schools get together and we have a meeting. This year, we'll be heading to Vegas to have a meeting in Vegas and then, get to know each other even better. So
I'm going to give you a homework assignment.
Okay.
And that's to get Metallica right here to
sweet.
perform live for Frank.
That has
I'm
been
Frank.
I'm game.
Since the day this opportunity hit my desk, that has been the end goal, is when are we going to get Metallica to Beaver County?
Well, if you get them to Beaver County, you let Beaver County Radio know.
I absolutely will.
And they'll take care of that. That's really, really interesting.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
really exciting.
Really cool. So, Ethan, I wanted to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
If somebody comes over and they're interested in the aviation program, let's take the pilot program first. So I know you won't take me because you keep telling me I'm too old and I'm not allowed to be a pilot. But and actually, I think I could be. I think it's the boss who's really saying no to that. But couldn't be a commercial pilot. But if somebody walks in of any good age, right, and walks in and says, "Hey, how does their program start? Do they have to spend so many hours?" I would think you got to spend so many hours in a classroom before you actually put them in an airplane, or no?
No, believe it or not.
No.
Day one. In fact, whenever I started flying years ago, we had our first day of class, and then the instructor said, hey, whoever has their medicals, if you want to go over and do a flight lesson, you can. So actually, me and my best friend from flight school, we went over, we did our first flight out of Allegheny County. But yeah, no, we have students, they sign up for the ground school, they get the enrollment certificate, and then they'll start flying that day if they want. So, yeah, so it's generally speaking, the students will come in, they'll get enrolled in the classes. The academies are a little different because usually we have a couple other classes before they get into the flight class. This is the high school kids. For the college kids, first semester, if they're doing the professional private program, they'll start flying day one. So they'll go. Now, the way the program is geared is you can't outfly a certain segment of the training, like the ground school. So they'll have to go and they'll fly and they'll keep within a phase of flight. And then once that ground training is done, then they continue on. Now, the private, there's 3 phases of that throughout the semester. Usually you can get a license. Typically, some kids do it in a semester. It's kind of rare because we have the PA weather and whatnot. But generally speaking, 6 months, about full, like a semester, not a full semester, but an academic year. Generally speaking, we see people get their licenses or whatnot.
So let's talk a little bit about what the people outside of their experience, which is commercial airlines, right?
Yep.
You flew for a commercial
I did,
airline.
yep.
So I would expect, right, that as opposed to flying like a little small Cessna or something, I'm hoping you're telling me yes, there's got to be a whole lot more training before I get on a plane with somebody flying a commercial plane. I mean,
now you see why I don't get on them.
I'm starting to think about this, and
you
your
gotta watch
answer is
your
going to
face. We are on
determine my next
Facebook.
vacation. So,
Let's just put it this way. You will, by the time you guys get picked up by an airline, you are definitely fully qualified to go. Now, the way it typically works is, say if you go through our program and you just do the 2 years only. Because of the Colgan crash in 2009, whenever that happened, the FAA made some changes and they had that hour restriction lifted or made. So generally speaking, if you go to the airlines, you have to have at least 1,500 hours of total flight time. Now, whenever you finish our program, you're sitting like anywhere between like 190 and 220 hours of flying. But then you start your first flight job, which is generally most people flight instruct. So you'll build your hours flight instructing. It takes maybe between 2 and 3 years of instructing students. So you'll work in 172s, Warriors, Diamonds, stuff like that, teaching people how to fly, and that's how you'll build your time. Now, once you get kind of closer to when you can be employable by an airline, usually it's like around 1,000 hours, they'll bring you in for an interview. And actually, we have a partnership with Republic Airways, my old airline. And actually, we have a cadet program. In fact, Republic's supposed to be there this weekend as well. You can talk to them about that. But anyways, you'll get hired, and then you'll go, you'll finish your time up. You'll report to INDOC. Actually, you don't do INDOC. You go through what's called the ATP CTP course, which allows you to take your commercial, not your commercial, but your ATP written. Because as far as
you're using a lot of acronyms that
well,
we're not exactly sure
so
to say. In plain English, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So I hear what you're saying, and I've talked to your students and stuff who are becoming flight instructors so they can build up their time, okay?
Correct, yep.
My impression is typically when they're doing that flight instruction and stuff, they're doing it on smaller planes, okay?
They
and
do.
I mean, from a layperson's point of view, there's a huge difference.
You're going to go straight
in
to
the
an
cockpit
airliner.
on a small plane and a cockpit on a commercial airline. There's a lot more knobs and switches and stuff.
You'll go straight to a 172 to an airliner. That's what I did.
Oh, I think I'm driving from now on. I'm kidding.
I know. The thing is, you have a lot of experience, and then you'll go. And generally speaking, it depends on the footprint for the airline. Usually, it's anywhere between maybe 3 months and 5 months. It depends on how backed up they are in the training. But you have, there's usually a training course you have to go through, which allows you to take your written so you can fly the jets. Then you go to what's called an in-dock, and the in-dock is basically what's the company like? It's usually 10 days or so. You'll go there. You'll go to the headquarters. You'll kind of learn about like the company and how it works and all that stuff, and you'll get your manuals. Then you'll generally go to a systems course where you learn about the airplane. Now, that can vary depending on the jet. My systems course was out in St. Louis. It was 3 weeks long on the Embraer. And then after that, you'll go to your simulator session. Usually that's about 2 weeks of training. And usually they run, it depends. They've changed it since I was there. All the airlines are a little different. But usually you do about 8 sim sessions. And then from there, you'll go to what's called IOE. And that's the training flight where it's a live flight.
Right.
And you're actually with the Czech airmen where you're flying and you're learning how to actually, you're getting authorized for that aircraft. And this is how it's done everywhere, whether you're United Airlines, whether you're at Republic or any of these others. It's a common thing, and this is how it works.
Here's a question. Like the majority of the students that come to CCBC's aviation school to be pilots, and I've talked to a lot of them,
Mm-hmm.
do they aspire to be commercial? Do they aspire to be charter, private?
It varies. We have ranges. This weekend I said we're going to have the Guard and the Reserve there. We have a number of students that have gone from our program that are in the military. They got their commercial license, and then especially with the Guard out of Pittsburgh, they like to interview our pilots because they know the program, they know the quality of what we produce, and then they'll get picked up and they'll go straight to their military training, which is nice. So we have a number of pilots down there. We have a number of pilots at the Guard, active duty Air Force too. You get a ton of students that want to do that.
There's a lot of opportunity, a lot of different directions.
And that's what
right?
today is. Today, this weekend is going to be more like, think of it like a buffet. You're going to get the education side, you're going to get the flight school side, you're going to get the military side, corporate, airline. So you're going to have a wide variety. So if you're even just kind of thinking about it and you're just kicking the tires, come out and check it out and just see what you can learn. Because some people, honestly, they come and they're like, wow, I didn't realize there was all these opportunities.
Right.
I thought the only route was usually most people, and I thought this before I went to flight school, I always thought the only way you could do was the military. That was it.
Yeah.
But there's a wide range. We're in our 56th year our program for the pilot side.
Wow.
For ATC, we're in the 49th year of our program. Students, especially ATC side, they're getting hired as far as with the FAA between ages 19 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very good as far as employment. As far as us, because of our restricted ATP, our personnel are moving into the cockpit of a airliner between ages 21 and like 22 years old.
I'm checking the age of the next pilot. I know we're getting close to
So you
break
guys
time.
want to recap everything on the word at the end?
Yeah.
You guys want to recap everything that's going to be happening
Let's talk
on
about
Saturday?
Touch a Plane,
Absolutely.
when, where.
Absolutely.
Right.
So Touch a Plane is this Saturday, October 4th, at the Air Heritage Aviation Museum. A completely free, family-friendly event. It'll run from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and we hope you'll stop out and check everything out.
And anybody who needs to know, that's 35 Piper Street is our address
Thank
out
you.
there. You're welcome.
Hang
Ethan?
a left by Beaver County Nissan and Dodge and go back to Sal's and keep going straight.
That's right.
Exactly.
You know the way there, do you?
Absolutely.
As far as for us, our event runs from 9 in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, we're going to have discovery flights. We're going to have our educational partners. We're going to have the military there, and we're going to have the airlines there as well. So, and our instructors as well. So,
all right,
great event this weekend. Personally, I'd like to give a shout out to Community College of Beaver County. They are official partners with the Air Heritage Aviation Museum. Really a big shout out to Dr. Roger Davis, he has Community College of Beaver County position just like Beaver County Radio. They are embedded in the community.
Awesome.
And thank you again for the
Absolutely.
opportunity, Frank. Thank you.
Thank you for being my co-host for an hour. Save my voice.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys, for coming in.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Join a team that's been making a difference for over a century. St. Barnabas Health System is hiring full-time security officers for night shifts in Gibsonia and Valencia. Work 12-hour shifts from 8:30 p.m. to 8:30 a.m., plus every other weekend, and earn competitive pay starting at $17 an hour plus shift differential. Enjoy full benefits, flexible scheduling, and the satisfaction of helping keep residents safe in a respected and growing healthcare system. Take the next step in your career. Apply now at stbarnabashealthsystem.com/careers or call 724-444-JOBS.
You're listening to Beaver County Radio, your